Bye.
All right. What's going on, gentlemen?
Chilling, brother. Chilling. How you guys doing?
I'm all right. Wishing everybody welcome to another Paul and Pals podcast. As always, Paul and Pals, Mr. William, Lendoogz. What's going on, fellas?
Chilling, brother.
How was everybody's week?
Hectic, but good.
No, I get the hectic part. I wasn't able to make it last week, so we had to reschedule. Well, we had to cancel. So I apologize to everybody about that.
No problem.
Hey, life happens, man. It's all good.
We missed an important week, though. But before we get to that, something I want to say. I try to live the life of a stoic. Everybody know what stoicism is? Just basically, it's not a religion, just a philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, back in the Roman Empire days, I guess, birthed it. It's just built on the foundation of, to put it in layman's terms, don't give a shit about anything that you can't control. But they define what you can control. And really, the only thing you can control are two things in your life. And that's your thoughts and how you put those thoughts into action. Other than that, there's nothing you can control. You can go to the gym every day and drop of a heart attack. You can be the most faithful person in the world and still have your significant other cheat on you. You can never smoke a cigarette a day in your life and get lung cancer. All those things are just out of your realm of control. Two things you can control: your thoughts and what you do with them. So with that said, I'm a man of many flaws. To be honest with you, of all the people I know, I'm probably the most flawed person out of everybody I know. I wear that, it's all a learning experience. You get better with it. So in dealing with trying to live this stoic way of doing things and that train of thought, I've let outside forces, I've let things I can't control my emotions. Okay. It's been like that for about the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I admit that. Like I said, we're not perfect. I'm still trying to figure it all out, and we'll figure it all out until we die. That's just what this game is. So I just say all that to say, guys, do your best, and I'm still trying to do my best to just do what you have to do, and don't let those outside forces dictate you. Because I'm better than that. We're all better than that. And, you get caught. I got caught, trying to live that. I love that lifestyle. I love that philosophy. But life still happens. So even in the last couple podcasts, I've went back and listened to it, and I found myself just more hyped up about things than I should be. And that's, I always say, when the person's going through something, accidents, whatever, it's your fault. And I let those things get to me, and it's my fault.
Well, you said going through accidents?
Well, going through things like when we were talking about just some things before, and I brought up accidents somewhere along the line. Somebody fucked up, and that's my accident, and I'm the cause of it. So,
okay.
Just trying to get better, man. Trying to be better than I was yesterday. So, wake up every day is a new day. God willing, we'd wake up. We are able to give it another shot. So when you get down and you get knocked down, you're able to keep on going on. So a little life lesson I learned, and we missed last week. So just bringing that up, to whoever's listening, to you guys, man, just keep on keeping on, keep on trucking, man. Don't let those outside forces get to you. Also, I guess we missed an important week because without going into politics, something major happened. We had an election.
Still happening.
Yeah, but you know, the side that's fighting, the side that's fighting it, even his team is like, all right, you know, court cases getting thrown out. You know, I'm going to assume it will inevitably come to an end.
Right.
So without saying names, without saying sides, there's just something. I told you guys I love Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an actor by the name of Theo Rossi. He does a podcast called
He's a cool dude.
Theory. Cool dude. Excellent actor. Did a phenomenal job in Sons of Anarchy.
He was also in the Marvel
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. There you go. Yep. He did really good in that. That's where I first saw him.
Shades.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Shades.
Awesome actor. Great. I mean, from how he talks and everything, seems like an outstanding person. His co-host on the podcast is Kim Coates. He's been in a ton of movies. Just a bunch of, oh, that guy. Oh, him again. Oh, that guy. He's just always been around. You've seen him. He plays Tig in Sons of Anarchy.
You said Kim Cooks?
Coates. Coates. He was in Black Hawk Down. He was in The Last Boy Scout. He's a bunch of everything.
Oh.
He looks like what's this guy's face? The guy that just played Joker, Joaquin Phoenix knockoff.
Yeah, I guess kind of an older version, I guess. Yeah. But also,
well, he's been in a lot of Last Boy Scout. He was the dude that punched him in the face with the cigarette.
Oh, yeah. One of our
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dope scene.
So they have a podcast, and it just so happens that the podcast that they have they recorded it the day the elections were closed, and one side was technically declared a winner. And he goes into a whole very short segment of it, but he says it. I'm not a politician. I don't talk politics. This is not that. They have fun. They talk about old Sons of Anarchy episodes. But he put it in 2 words. He just put it so eloquently that I just want to kind of piggyback on it. And the 2 words were kindness won. We have been in a crazy 4 years, man. We've seen the birth of alternative facts to try to put truth and lies into one word. We've seen hate kind of win. We've seen how you shouldn't treat people become the norm. We've seen lies be given. I've never seen an administration get fact-checked so many times. So to hear the president-elect just talk, you just get to hear dignity. You know, you just get to hear intelligence. Now, look, he could be a hunk of shit. We won't know that until it's all said and done. But I haven't heard anybody speak like that in 4 years since Obama. And I'm not here to talk politics, policies, nothing. But it was just a breath of fresh air to just get off the exit of craziness for a little bit and just see where it goes. So, again, that was just how Theo Rossi put it, you know, kindness won. And for a moment, it was just a beautiful thing. So that's how I wanted to start everything. Okay, and now I guess we can officially start. So
opening bell.
Opening bell. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna shut up for a moment, and if anybody has anything that any lessons learned from the week or the past 2 weeks, I guess, because we missed a week, Anybody set it off, man. Let's start this bad boy back up.
Well, I have one topic that I'd like to bring up and see what you guys think about. And something I've been noticing for a while. I mean, it's been going on for years, but for some particular reason, I guess now I'm just like really like looking at it. So I don't know what you guys think about the death penalty. So I can tell you my side of it, or my feelings about it is I think it should go into play, and I think it should not be abolished. If I researched correctly, there's a lot of states in the United States who have gotten rid of it. I personally think it should come back. I mean, just to say, like, if there's irrefutable evidence and it's a heinous crime, I really think that person should not be rehabilitated. We shouldn't waste time. There's already enough people locked up. The jails are overpopulated. You know, get rid of that person ASAP. I mean, they shouldn't be sitting on death row for like 10 years or whatever. I mean, if the evidence is irrefutable, there's no like 50%, yeah, 60%. I mean, obviously, no. If it's like DNA, witness, I mean, everything, the works, they should be gone. I don't know what you guys think about it.
Len, you wanna start it?
I agree with you, and obviously depending on the crime, but yeah, no, there should be repercussions for people's for consequences that people take. So again, depending on the crime, I would be for that.
You have been found guilty of jaywalking. Get the chair out. No, I agree. I don't think it's to a certain extent, it's an eye for an eye rule. If the crime is heinous, something to do with a child, something grisly.
And not like it doesn't matter if the first time or second time, but especially if it's like, the fourth time that this particular person got caught for doing something heinous, like, yo, let's not let this happen again.
I would say to a degree, it could be the first one. It depends on how heinous the crime is. If something is so horrendous that you're like, I don't even waste time trying to rehab this person. And some people just don't give a fuck.
Exactly, man.
Some people will smile while they're being given a life sentence. Can't do anything with that.
It's also their state of mind that they're into.
It's if it's the heinous crime that it is, why have them, like you said, Will, on death row for 10 years? Yeah. Why try to rehab somebody that doesn't care? If someone is genuinely remorseful, and it has to be genuine, even on a crime to a degree, okay, let the rehab begin. If, like you said, Will, Len, okay, now you do it again, well, how sincere were you? Now we have to look at that. But to me, one and done, depending what the crime is.
Well, I'll give you an example. So I was watching this headline, what is it, 2020? It was like a few weeks ago. So, and you guys may have seen maybe parts of it in the news. So this guy claimed like his wife and his daughters disappeared. So eventually they go through this whole rigmarole, he goes on the news saying like, oh, please come back, tries to seem sympathetic, whatever. Anyway, long story short, he ended up killing them. And when I mean killing them, he killed his wife and his 2 young daughters. And when I say young, I mean like one was like 2 years old, another one was like 4 years old.
I think I was seeing ads for this, or like some commercials for it, I should say.
it's pretty bad. And then once he finally confesses, and they make him go through like how it happened, what he did, he kind of felt like his daughter saw him kill the wife, so he was like, man, I have no choice now, I have to kill my daughters. And then he like laid out how he did it. Like he put his he did one of these things where he covered up their nose and their mouth like that, and he like suffocated them manually. And then since he worked at some type of joint that's outside that has these big oil wells. I mean, it's huge. And he took their bodies and dumped each of them in the oil well. And I was just like, this guy, I don't care what it is, this guy should be out of there. I mean, just gone.
That would be the example of one and done.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the button that we got to push?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The fact that he did the deed, first of all.
And that's not something you could do like
after
in like
weeks. After
That's
weeks
like-
of faking
like-
it, mind you.
That's the other point I was going to bring up is you then go into actor mode. Just you run down the list and it's just like check, 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 hit the button, like Len said.
Yeah, no, there's no talking. There's nothing really talking about.
And then, like you said, with the confession and then the details, like
Yeah.
you're a certain type of level of evil that shouldn't be allowed to be here. And I agree. Are there second chances that should be given out in the world? Yeah, to a degree, yes. Is this one of the cases? Absolutely not.
Not for him. No.
No, not at all. That person should leave this existence and should do it in a way like don't even give lethal injection out. Like, don't make it a peaceful one. Like, dip his ass in gravy and put him in a lion cage or something.
Yeah. Len is laughing because he's getting hungry.
I guess I
Dip
am
some
hungry.
biscuits and some gravy.
Oh shit, damn, that sounds good.
I'm not gonna lie, like I am starving for a chicken parm right now. I just woke up late, had to do some things, and I was like, shit, getting close to time.
I thought you were gonna say like dip him in battery acid to make it hurt. You're like dip him in
Okay.
Turn them into the
Okay,
Joker.
that'll work too.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
I think it was George Carlin. He had a skit. I love George Carlin.
Me too.
Same here.
On a comedic level, funny, but also gives you things to think about while he's like he's a different type of comedian. But he had a skit about capital punishment, and he was just going down the different ways of pay-per-view and put it in, help balance the budget, pay it off. And like when you said dip him in, I thought you were gonna say batter. You said battery acid, and he said one of the ones he had was dip a person in batter and slowly bring them down into a boiling pot or something like that. He said, "You French fry a couple fuckers," like just something like that.
Oh,
So, nah, Will, that's exactly what when we talk about things to discuss. These are the things that it's unfortunate. It's horrible to talk about, but it's a thing to talk about. So, I appreciate it. That guy should be fired out of a cannon into a brick wall ASAP. So,
like Super Dave.
yeah, Super Dave minusing the editing, just
make him go through some like Wile E. Coyote like stunts and see how far he goes. See how far he makes it.
I would say fire him through a cannon, through like a rose bush filled with thorns, and then into like a wall. Make it hurt on his way to the end.
Before the wall, maybe like a bath of alcohol, like some rubbing alcohol.
I was gonna say through the thorns into like a alcohol spray head thing going on.
It's like almost like a car wash setup, but you just like walking through it, just like get hit all the.
Something cuts and then some alcohol. Something cuts and then like a salt bath. Just all the way down until he hits the wall.
A lemon bath. There you go.
11. So
Hey,
nah, that was what you gonna say?
And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I believe because the state that he's in, forget what he's in, somewhere in the Midwest, if I remember correctly, they didn't have the death penalty, so of course he gets life. So he's gonna get his 3 meals, his recreation for the rest of his life. So, and
That's
then we're
when
gonna pay for it.
that's when I'm hoping that the worst of the worst do something good. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think they'll take care of that.
And I hope they do.
Yeah.
Let capital punishment be divvied out that way. And that could be it. Capital punishment. You're locked in a room with a bunch of dudes serving life terms.
Yeah.
The first one to
Then
do
put
the
the
deed
anger out.
gets like 5 years taken off or something.
Yeah.
Len, what do you got, man?
So kind of like you were touching on this a couple of weeks ago, as far as like what like the news cycle, or as far as like what the news shows us, and like the things that you don't hear, or you see, or you don't see, I should say. So speaking of that, like what happened to, obviously with all that was going on with the election, like that dominated like the news cycle, and like yo, you didn't hear about anything else. What about like the wars overseas and troops in in overseas, and all the stuff like with the terror, anything kind of do with anything with terrorism. Like, what are they on, like strike right now? Like, this is like a perfect time. Not to say that I want something to happen, but like, you have to wear a mask, and you're not gonna, like you could do something if you really wanted to, but like, where's all those stories?
And this is why I watch Vice News, because they're good for that. While CNN and all these other news are just concentrating on one thing, which is the election, Vice News is still going overseas to Syria and war-torn countries and whatever. This is why I love Vice News.
No, go ahead, Paul. You good?
I don't have. That's an HBO show, correct?
No, actually, they have their own channel now.
Oh wow!
I mean, they were on with HBO, but they have their own channel now.
Really?
Vice TV, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've heard phenomenal things about Vice. That they are as down the middle as you can be in this country. Because, like you said, we could bang on Fox News for being Trump's lapdog. We can, but you also have to acknowledge the CNNs, they're the MSNBCs. They are leaning left. There's not many things in our country that gives it a straight down the middle approach. I would say, Len, if you want that view of what's going on like that, I would recommend Vice, like you said. I would also recommend BBC News. You have to go to outside sources to get what's going on an equal field here, which is crazy that you have to go to another country to find out what our country is doing. But again, man, I always talk about two things, man. Don't force me in agendas. And when it comes to the news, that is almost the machine of agenda.
That starts it all.
That's like Matrix City.
How water can kill you live at 6. Like, what?
And it's more determined by what somebody is saying should be said than the actual news.
Right.
And that form of divide and conquer, that's one of the reasons. I mean, we could talk about Republicans, Democrats, how the media spins things is just as fear-mongering, is just as one side or the other. It's somebody telling you what needs to be told, but it's what we think should be told, not it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, put it in the middle, and then come to a conclusion. It's this side's point of view, or that side's point of view. And it's unfair. It's divides. It puts us in a position where we're at now.
Pick and choose what side you're on.
It,
So
it makes you pick and choose.
that's why I slowly stopped watching, man. Slowly, and like to the
I
point.
don't.
The only reason why I've been watching is for the election, and it's like briefly, just to see like where numbers are at, and then I flip it. I don't really care too much because again, I already know where they're trying to point me or whatever the case may be.
And
Yeah.
believe me, if you're watching American news, somebody's trying to point you.
Of course.
And even if you are on, for example, the left side, because the right side's too easy to pick on. If you're on the left side, you're gonna find a channel that's gonna cater to your side. That's why I just consider myself an American. There are Republicans I don't have a problem with. There are some things Republicans do that I agree with. Most of it I don't. But if you have a why and you're coming from a perspective that's as down the middle as you can be, I'm here to listen.
No, I was just gonna say even recently started watching Fox News just to make sure that I'm not going into like so hardcore as far as like just believing one agenda. But then and then you watch and you're just like, all right.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably not, like, just to get a dose of a hard left and a hard right. I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
out of country news would be the best source for what's going on in country, which is crazy to say, but that's probably the best way to go. Or like Will pointed out, Vice, because everything I've heard about Vice and the few things I've seen about Vice on a Vice episode is from everything else as down the middle as it can be without going to another country source.
I'll have to check into them more. I think I follow their page on Instagram or something like that. There's some page that I follow, one of their outlets, but I never seen like the channel. And I passed it on the cable here too, so I have to go back and take a look.
That's one of the good things about the technology and where we're at now, is that you have the option to go find that. You have the option to check out BBC News to see their perspective of it. Because they're worried about their country.
Right.
Every country has issues. They're worried about theirs, so they're going to give a down the middle approach about us. So damn. All right, you guys are on fire. All right. Anything else to add to that, Len? Or Will, you want to add to that?
No, I would say once you check out Vice News, you'll see, you'll appreciate it.
No doubt.
Well, Vice gets the Will stamp of approval. I'm rocking with it. It's funny, like you guys are going dead serious right now, and then my little thing is actually like sports related, but not on like a team or anything like that. It's actually historic.
I think I know where you're going, and I had this to bring it up too, but go ahead.
I get, I want to say, not too many people come back at me like, I'm a woman hater or anything like that. I try to be down the middle with things. Again, don't force things down my throat. And we've all said it, women are powerful, women are, and we always talk about equal opportunity. Everybody should have a chance to prove themselves, regardless of race, color, culture, anything. If you are fit to do something, the other factors shouldn't matter. If you're just able to do it and do it well, you should have the opportunity to do it. So with that said, in the 100 and plus 50 years of baseball, and baseball is grossly not that progressive. Like, they are the last to do everything. So with that said, in 150 years, we never had this. So Miss Kim Ang, I believe is how you say her last name.
Oh, I heard about that.
She's become the first female general manager and the first Asian American general manager in the history of over 150 years of baseball. With the Marlins. So good job, Derek Jeter. Get the Jeter fist pump for making that happen. And it goes to credentials. She's 51. She's been in baseball for 30 years.
Wow.
A career that spanned as an intern with the White Sox in 1990. She's worked for the White Sox. She's worked for the Yankees during their
The
World
championship run.
Series runs.
Yep.
You know, and she's worked for the Dodgers. She has success where she goes. So then her last stint before becoming GM of the Marlins was vice president of baseball operations for the commissioner's office.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's huge, man.
So to have that, you know, again, like a 30-year career, your credentials are there. I do not care that you're a woman. You've earned that. You've earned that times two.
I'm about to say, yeah, some dudes get thrown right into that without like a couple of years of experience because they're like the new up and coming guy or whatever, like in the field, or maybe for like analytics and all that stuff. Now this was like long overdue.
Earned it.
She put her time in.
But I bet you they'll concentrate on the whole woman, the whole nationality part. They'll beat that in our heads.
Baseball, well, the agenda part, I don't know. Baseball is just so ancient. My fear for her, actually, is she's going to get a shorter leash than some of these fonzanoons out here that get way longer than they deserve.
But again, you brought up something. I'm sorry to cut you up, but you said something that was, I think, was very important in regards to this. You said Jeter. He has something to do with it, so he's not going to let, like what you said. I don't think he's going to. I think he's smart enough to know that these are things that could possibly happen. I'm sure they're aware of it. They're going to try their best to not make it about that.
Okay.
Because Jeter's smart, man. Jeter he don't do stuff just to do something. Things are thought out. He's like there's like 3 or 4 moves in advance that he does.
Okay.
When he does something, I should say.
And to add to that, this has been I had to find this, so it's been under the radar. This is not going back to the whole Batwoman thing, just shoving something down your throat. Like this has happened. This is happening. It's happened, and I had to find it. And the article was just like a big up to it. So I don't think, and I'm hoping, I don't think this is an agenda thing. I don't think it's going to be something that's shoved down everybody's throat. I'm hoping the powers that are there, minus Jeter, because that was technically his call, I believe. I don't think, and I'm hoping, that they're not rooting for her to lose. Because again, you show me somebody that's done 30 years starting as an intern, elevating yourself over that time to vice president of a commissioner. Again, you know, you've earned it. So I hope she gets a fair shake on it. And as long as she gets a fair shake, then I finally tip my hat to baseball about getting something right. It takes them a while. It takes baseball longer than other sports to do it, but they got this one right. So to Kim Ang, man, I salute you. I tip my cap to you. I wish the Florida Marlins a dynasty right now to just show everybody. Because again, we talked about it. Women power is a beautiful thing as long as it's not shoved down somebody's throat. Anybody being successful is awesome. Yep. If it's done righteously and not in a corrupt way, you know, then I wish you success.
I hope the same as well, but I really hope that it happens after the Braves have their run, because we're in the same division, and I hope we stomp them out every time we play them. I'm sorry, Kim Niang, I'm happy for you, but I hope you lose every time that you play the Braves. Shout out to Freddie Freeman for MVP, by the way. I had to do it.
The Braves had their shot this year, and they blew it.
You were right there, man. You were right there. Right there.
Dude, even as a Yankee fan, I am pulling for Kim Ang. And in a way, that's me pulling for Jeter. I would like to see that, over 150 years, and you're gonna pull the trigger now. For that, I hope they rattle off like 3 championships. Go get it, and I hope she gets credit for it. As a GM, I hope she puts a monster team together.
See, that's the thing though. Like they're already are decent. Not matter of fact, they're more than decent. They're a really good team, man. They just need a couple of extra pieces, and they're gonna be like right there. Because like honestly, all that they did this year should never happen. They had so many injuries and so many players out with COVID. They had to play 6 games in 4 days, and that's what propelled them get into the playoffs. That's like 2 double headers, and yeah, that's crazy.
It's been a weird season all around. I'm not saying the teams that win it don't deserve it. I'm not saying put an asterisk next to any team that wins anything. But when this finally subsides a little bit more, hopefully, soon, but when it finally does, I'm not saying then it all starts. But, clean slate when it all starts. I hope general managering gets those pieces you're talking about and puts that puzzle together, because I'm rooting for her, to be honest.
So no, you definitely want to see that. Even when they had like Jessica Mendoza as like the first like female Sunday Night Baseball, and she knows her baseball, man. Just hearing her like talk about the game, you could tell that she knows her baseball. And it kind of reminds me of when the Nets they hired Sarah Kustok to be like their lead play-by-play, and she does a phenomenal job. She's really good at her job. You could tell like after a while, like just hearing them talk about the game or like how they explain like the X's and O's, like, yo, all right, you've done your homework. You deserve to be here. Like nobody can just like say that you didn't warrant this position.
And
It's good to see.
It's one thing that, all right, color commentary, somebody on the sideline, microphone, awesome, do a great job on it. I know what you're talking about, and I'll listen. Again, I don't care if it's a woman talking or a man talking, as long as you know what you're talking about.
That's the main point of it. As long as you know what that's my main point.
Yeah, as long as that's what's happening, I'm good for it. But the monumentalness of a general manager. Like,
Oh yeah,
it was awesome in basketball when Pop hired that female to be an assistant coach.
Sue Bird, yeah.
Sue Bird. That was amazing. Like, that was awesome by Pop. And you have to recognize, again, it's one thing to be on a sideline. It's one thing to be on TV talking about a sport that if you're on it, you better know what you're talking about. Don't hit a grand slam and be like, that guy hit a touchdown. Like, nobody wants to hear that.
It's Becky Hammond, actually, not Sue Bird.
Oh, it's Becky Hammond. Okay. My bad.
So to be put in that's a position of power, Becky Hammond, to say I'm the first female assistant coach. There's a lot of burden on that. Got to prove yourself.
Hell yeah.
That either opens the door or closes it. So there's pressure on that first female to knock it out or do a very competent job. And, she landed in a good spot because San Antonio is a structure.
Yeah, so you can't if there's any place you want to be involved for something like that as a female in that position, there's no better place to start, like right there, because you're gonna get the respect and you're gonna learn to do things the right way,
And speaking of doing it the right way, San Antonio did it the right way. Hey, congratulations to Hammond. She's the first assistant coach, a female assistant coach. Now let's go win a championship. That's it. Don't have to do ads on it. Don't have to shove the agenda down anybody's throat. The only thing you have to do is win. That's it. Going back to that whole Batwoman thing and, the Star Wars thing and the female Ghostbusters thing, like, just play a show, just play a movie, and let the acting and everything play itself out. So with the sports thing, congratulations on your role. now win. And as long as you do that, I have nothing but love and respect for you.
I wonder if she's still on the staff while Popovich is there, and he decides to retire, if they won't like think about like upping her to like head coach. Because it was weird. Like Tim Duncan was on that staff, but he just said that he wasn't going to come back. So maybe it made me think that maybe that's what's coming.
One and done for Duncan.
Yeah. So it made me think like, yo, all right. So Popovich is going to leave, and they're not really thinking about me because they love Becky Hammond so much, as far as like maybe pushing her up to that next position, which again I'm cool with. I don't care either way. But it made me think like, why would he just quit? I mean, obviously there's other reasons that there could be, but
which is also another credit to Becky Hammond. This guy was an assistant coach for 1 year, and I'm not gonna say couldn't hack it, but for whatever the reason was one and done. Coach, appreciate it. I'm out. Gonna go play golf. F this noise. And you still had Becky on the court, on the sidelines with that clipboard drawing up X's and O's. So that's, she's
locked in.
solidifying herself.
She's locked in.
Locked in. So that's a credit to the strong females out there that don't care about the agenda part of it. Congratulations, you're an equal. When we talk about equality, this is what I'm talking about. Don't poke your chest out. Don't make it a point to let everybody know what you are. You just do. You're in the position. Now just do it. And if you do it well, you're an equal. Pop will have your back. You're an assistant coach. You're not a female assistant coach. You're just an assistant coach. Kim, if she gets it done, she no longer becomes hey, congratulations, you're a female GM. Like, no, you're a GM. You're a part of that group, and you're an equal. So, damn, I am really rooting for her. And them, I'm saying? I'm rooting for them. There's part of me that wants Becky Hammond to do great. There's a bigger part of me that wants Miss Ang to do well, because, again, they are so behind. Like, they are so outdated. It's one of the reasons I don't like baseball. Like, they refuse. Every sport has changed their rules and the things they do to catch up with the times. Whether it's improved, shot clock things, moving a line back or forward, football does what they do to keep it progressing and keep it our American sport. Like, football is the American sport right now, where it used to be baseball. Baseball's still stuck in like they're still stuck in now batting number 45. Like, they're still stuck in that era. And they refuse to leave it. But meanwhile, the world is passing them by. But they're still so stuck in their ways. It's adapt or die. We've said that a couple weeks ago.
They're just starting to change. Like, they're letting like the players like do like a bat flip and letting them wear like different colored cleats and shit like that. I mean, this is something they should have been done. I'm about to say they should have been done all this.
And they're playing catch up so much that we're like, oh my God, baseball's letting them change the cleat color. Yo, we're in 2020. That's where you start. Like, that's where you're at, baseball. You still have 6-hour games.
Yeah, that's fucking.
In a world where we've lost our sense of patience. Football, baseball, shit, even soccer. You have this amount of time to play the game. Baseball, 4 hours later, you're in the third inning because it's just a long-ass game. And you got another 6 to go.
I love baseball, but I hate games like that. Or what's even worse is like being a fan at a game like that. Oh my God! There was a game that went into extra innings that I went to, with actually the Braves were playing the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. In fact, A-Rod hit a fucking like walk-off home run and extras. But I left that game because one, it took forever, and I was baking in the stands I was afraid to move. If I moved like an inch like this, it was gonna start up an avalanche of sweat.
Damn.
Yeah, it was just like so disgusting out there, man. So I'm like, fuck this, I'm leaving. And then on the way home, that's when I heard as far as like we
It,
won. But
it,
it's just like, how can you like torment people to be do this? You know?
their sport makes their sport unwatchable, unbearable sometimes. I don't know the game. This was years ago when I gave a fuck about baseball. I was in the stadium and it was a summer day. Like you said, not a lot of shade when you're by the baseline. You're just there cooking.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you're hours into a game. And then hours. And then hours. You're almost at a part-time job.
Yeah.
Watching something that is, there are people, do you understand? There are people that go to a baseball game and they'll read. They will pull a book out and read. That is leisure time. You're an outdated sport. You need to step it up. Welcome to the 2020. Get out of like Babe Ruth. They think Babe Ruth's still around. Like they're still in that frame of mind. And it's not, again, all these other sports have made it a point to go with the times. Baseball used to be my favorite sport. It was introduced, that was the first sport I was introduced to. First time going to any venue was Yankee Stadium. And I went to Yankee Stadium as a kid about 6-7 times before I went to any other sport. Played Little League since I was a little kid to high school. I loved baseball. But I grew up, baseball never did. It stayed where it was.
Mm.
And, you know, it's suffering now. In a sport where black athletes run the sports, minus hockey, baseball has one of the lowest percentages of black athletes. And part of it is, you know, it takes 9 people to play baseball on one team. And I get that part of it. You know, there are things that go into it, but it's just an outdated sport. I've lost, like, it used to be my favorite sport of all time. It now is below basketball, then football. I'm trying to think of maybe another sport that might still be in there that might surpass that.
Boxing. Or if
MMA.
you want,
I'll go
MMA.
MMA. I don't like boxing. Boxing because it's so corrupted.
Yes, yeah.
It is one of the most corrupt sports ever. MMA, there's been some questionable decisions here and there, but nothing so blatant. You're like, wow, who the hell got paid off there? Like, which judge got a couple extra bucks in their account now?
You know what times that happened? You know what times we saw that happen in like boxing? And, like, you know, it's just so disgusting, man.
Roy Jones, when he was in the Olympics,
So don't even bring that up. Don't even bring that up because I feel that for him.
destroyed his opponent.
You know,
And the other guy was awarded the win. So much so, I forgot the country it was in, but it was an Asian country. And the local monks came down from their monastery
Damn.
and did like a vow of silence or something for Roy Jones. Like, yo, you got shitted on so bad, the monks came down to protest.
and he had to stay there and like take that decision. Yeah, man, that hurt. That hurt watching that, man. That's just any replay of that, it hurts.
He almost quit because of that.
Yeah.
He almost lost one of the greatest of that sport because of the corruption.
I would have, man. You could tell on his face he was ready to punch out. All he had to do was go back in that locker room, punch out, and he was gonna be good.
So, you know, that's where we're, you know, baseball has to step it up. Boxing, so MMA to me is higher on the totem pole than, you know what, than baseball. It definitely is more so than boxing. But MMA would be third on my list, followed by baseball.
No doubt.
And we're gonna pause right here. We're gonna go into editing mode when the wheel comes back.
Yo, I need like 50 shirts, dog. I need like 50 shirts.
Told me, told you.
Yeah.
So it's been it's been a long 2 weeks, man. Yeah, it's funny, man. Missing 1 week feels like I missed a month. So with that said, everybody had a bunch of things to do. So I know it's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks. I know I have my fonzanoon of the week. I know you guys, just life in general. You didn't have a chance to really find one. And honestly, you probably just look outside, throw a rock, and hit a fonzanoon. But I'll just give mine, and then we'll do the plugs, and then we'll call it a day.
Real quick question: can there be a reverse fonzanoon?
I don't see why not. If there's somebody that gets the, I don't know what we'll call it, but
you would have to. So you would have to be a fonzanoon, and then do something to redeem yourself, or could it just be?
Nah, man. If you just have somebody that just did a good deed, that should be acknowledged. Shit, man, acknowledge it. Look, man. We started this with kindness one. Going back to the Theo Rossi shit.
Right.
Kindness one. Like, fonzanoons are just funny. A, it's just a funny word. B, idiots have to be pointed out. But with that said, good people should be acknowledged too, dude. So
yeah. So then I got one then. Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, let it rip.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I know you're familiar with this is a baseball story in a way. So John Lester is about to maybe call it a career, or at least like his time in Chicago is about to be up. So what he did as like a nice little farewell to the city, because I think he helped win a championship there a couple of years ago. So what he did was, he's going on a high note with his fans. Lester 36 bought beers for patrons over the Halloween weekend at 4 Chicago bars, tweeting out his tab, which included 34% tip. So Lester spent over $47,000 between Friday and Sunday, Halloween weekend. And then, where is it? I thought that it was a gratuity of over $16,000.
Damn.
On top of the 47?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucking dope. That's a nice little nod to the city that I appreciated you guys.
That's awesome, man. And that's awesome because fans invest way more than they should.
I'm probably one of them. One of those losers that does that.
No, it's not a loser thing. You're a sports fan. Like, that's a passion of yours. You love sports. It brings you joy. That doesn't make you a loser. People have things that bring them joy that have nothing to do with sports. Yeah. Comic books bring joy to people. Drawing brings joy to a person. So it's not people's likes and dislikes are people's likes and dislikes. But fans of sports, there's a term, fanatic. So fans of sports, they put, depending on the athlete, they put a lot of time and sometimes money into a team or a player that they like. So to have a player in turn return that's admirable, man. Like, I'm not even a John Lester fan like that until I heard that. Now it's like, hey, man, good job, John Lester. Like, that's an awesome thing to do. You make millions of dollars to play a game. And you have some athletes that will cop an attitude if a kid asks for an autograph. So for a player to do something that gives back in some type of way, that's awesome, man. Tip of the cap to that.
Seriously, that's why as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a fucking pretty dope move right there. Not a lot of athletes would do something like that. So that's pretty sick. That was pretty cool.
Nah, it's an anti-fonzanoon move.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
It's an anti-Fonzie, we'll call it.
Nice.
Anti-Fonzie. Brazzy noon.
Yo, okay.
The fonzanoon.
All right.
So I actually, because I just hate people, I guess I have a fonzanoon.
There you go.
My fonzanoon are the sheep. Again, I'm not going into policies. I'm not going into a colored side. I'm not going into a directional side. We'll just say the sheep that blindly follow people and think they have a voice of their own, but they're just repeating the garbage that somebody is telling them what to say. You know, to the point that there's a figurative arm in somebody's back and like a puppeteer. They're just dictating what's being said. And I guess I have to go into an example. There was an interview done at a rally, and it's had to do, I guess we have to talk about it then, with the voter fraud. That's the alleged voter fraud that's been going on. And you hear the people with no basis of what they're saying. Forget the fact that states have done their due diligence and they're like, no, it's not the case. And in every election, there is voter tampering to an extent. In every election, somewhere somebody did something. It's millions of people. So somewhere along those lines, somebody did something they weren't supposed to do. But this one is such a wide gap that it's meaningless. Like every other one, like every other election, it's a meaningless amount that mean nothing at the overall sum. So you got these people at the rally, and I will say this: credit to that administration and the soon-to-be ex-guy that's going to be leaving soon. That man could tell his base to jump out of a volcano or in a volcano, and God bless them, they will just one after the other, cannonball, and go right in. Now, this is not everybody. You know, we all know our boy Elvis. He's leaning towards the losing side. The only thing I ask is that you have a why.
Wow.
If you have a why, I can at least respect it. He told me his why. We've had many disagreements about this. And it's all love at the end. And that's the other thing. You have to have a respect back and forth. So we've had these talks and we've had disagreements on it. He's given me his why. Do I agree with it?
Wait, did that?
Do I agree with it? No. I respect it because it's a why. It's not one of these sheeps and drones. He has a difference of opinion. He sees policy. I see somebody making a choice given free will, which means it has nothing to do with policy or a side. It's just free will. So I have another friend. He has a why also. And in this state of Pennsylvania, I have two people I consider good friends. He's one of them. And he's, you know, he leans towards that side because he has a why. It's a personal why. I will never get into it on here. But he treats me and other people, if he likes you, like gold. He's a great soul. Like, he's a good fucking person. And I respect and love him back. He's very simple. That's who I voted for, but just treat me right and I'll treat you right. Respect that. And he has a why. What I'm talking about are these people that I think this. Why? Because that's how I feel. Why? Because that's what I was told. That's the issue. Our boy Elvis and the person who I'm talking about, they won't jump into a volcano. They'd be like, "What, you fucking stupid? You're gonna die down there." But meanwhile, you got these people, hey, psh, belly flop. Psh. It's funny how people go, I don't understand how all of a sudden my guy was winning, and then all of a sudden these mail ballots came in, and it was such an overwhelming for one side. Okay, sheep. You do realize your leader said don't use the mail-in ballots. Told them all on camera live, don't use mail-in ballots. The other side that won said, man, use the mail-in ballots. And how the counting is done is, it's decounting on election day. Gets counted first. Mail-in ballots and everything that way gets counted second. So even the guy who lost, even if he had a lead, he told his people to not use something that was supposed to be used. And they can't figure, and like I said, they will jump in a volcano. So when he goes, don't use the mail-in ballots, what do you think happened? None of them did. And they can't figure it out. How is that possible?
Yeah.
That's fraud. No, man. You gotta talk to them in their way, man. So to all those people, and when the people on the losers level are pulling out, like, nah, it's over. And everybody's going like, yo, you have no evidence, it's baseless. But the only people that are fighting this are still the sheep. Group of fonzanoons.
Yep.
So
there's
my fonzanoon of the week. All of them.
He said, "There's my all of them."
You know, again, there are some that if you have a why, I technically won't put you in that category. If you can't understand it, but you follow that man through a minefield because he says so, you know, fonzanoon. So, with that said,
Tough times, man.
take care of this little last part. Appreciate everybody coming by and taking a listen. You can catch the Paul and Pals podcast on Spotify and iTunes under the PNP, the Paul and Pals with a Z, parentheses PNP podcast. Catch that on Spotify, iTunes. I realized that there are about 4 other ones I didn't even realize that we're in. I'll put those links in there. It's another like 4 different avenues to listen to podcasts. I just forgot what they are. And you can always catch the visuals on iTunes. Mr. Len started off with the IG plug, and then Mr. William, please set it off with your various avenues of ways they can get a hold of you. He's gonna have
the Star Wars crawl of all his addresses and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Name is Doogzlen, DOOGZLEN at Instagram, and that's it for right now. More shit coming.
All right.
You could find me on Instagram at instagram.com/Chronomega1. That's CRON as in Nancy, OM as in Mary, EGA, and the number 1. I do have some merch up at www.tomee.com. That's TOHMEE.com. You could also see the shirt.
Yeah.
If you like it, go online, purchase it. There's tons of other stuff. One of my favorites is actually the neck gaiter, which I've been wearing and posting on Instagram. And my blog, which I need to get more updated on. I've been concentrating so much more on the merch and the sneakers that I've been actually neglecting the blog a little bit, but you can find it at clearingtheattic.blog.com. wordpress.com. So that's clearingtheatticblog.wordpress.com.
So let me ask you a question. Because you also have sneakers. You also got Kicks as merch.
Yeah,
Is it still
I
on?
still want to get those into production so bad.
Is that up and running yet?
Oh yeah, it's up. All the designs are ready to go, but with the place that I signed up with, you have to have 7 pre-orders for it to go into production. There's another site that and it's a lot cheaper. Zazzle has something, and the sneakers came out to about like $90 something. But they're like cheaply made. They're kind of like Converses, basically. But this other website, man, I just really hope I can get into production. So I also opened the crowdfunding, which I will recommend to everyone. You should try Google Ads. If you're trying to put something out there, try Google Ads. I did a crowdfunding and I put it in Google Ads, and like 2 random people, like I don't even know who they are. And it's all anonymous donation, so I don't know who they are. Donated some money to the cause, and I was just like so grateful. Like I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Wait, so when you're talking about this, what was the name of the page?
What, the Google Ads or the sneakers?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Google Ads. So is it something that you have to like? How much information are you giving? Because obviously you said like you're going to donate to a cause. Like, did you have to write something out and say like, hey, my name is this and I'm doing this for that?
I definitely had to write that out. I had to give Google Ads the URL. So basically the way Google Ads is, if people are searching on there, and you know how sometimes stuff and pops up and there's images here. So I'm paying Google Ads to like put my stuff there while people are online. And I mean, it's getting up there. I think I'm at 179,000 impressions. So that means my various ads were put in front of 179,000. And you can pick the countries, and you can even narrow it down to like even the city. I even put like Yonkers, I put Bronx, I put Queens, blah, 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 whatever. And I also put like places in Asia. So, I mean, it seems to work. It's slow right now. I've only done it for like 3 weeks, I want to say. But hey, I mean, have, anonymous people just donating like that. I was like, wow. I was just like, wow,
sick.
This thing actually works. I didn't think it would work, but I was like, let me just try it.
That's pretty sick.
Nice. Yeah. That's what's up, man. Hey, just gave everybody a little bit of knowledge. Anybody have any questions, man, go hop on his Instagram, ask away. Yep. Thank you for the knowledge. Dude, I promise I will be rocking some gear very soon. Tis the season coming up, dude. So I got you. I like the gear. I mean, there's stuff for women. There's the gaiters. There's hoodies. There's phone cases. There's pretty much any and all things to hook yourselves up, or your significant other, or your phone. I mean, and you can stay safe rocking the Tommy badass designs. It's awesome, dude. Like I co-sign it. I can't wait to get some gear up. Dude, I'm proud of you, man. Just keep grinding away, dude.
Thank you.
Totally agree, man. Share the same sentiments. Real quick, one more quick question in regards to the Tommy. I looked on the site and I saw that there was only like white and black gaiters. Are you gonna have like more colors of those, or?
Oh, I just recently added. I think it was, what's today, Sunday. So I think like Thursday or Friday, I added. If you look at the red one, so if you go to Tommy,
and that's the color. I was like, yo, I wonder how that would look with a red.
So
one.
Once you check out the red one, you'll see there's more colors. I decided to add more colors to it, like blue, all different. I ordered just like 3 different ones so I could rock it and self-advertise. I ordered the white, the blue, the red.
The red, the white, and the greens.
The gators look hot. I saw the pictures on Instagram. This look cool.
I love it. Yeah. I'm telling you, like once you're designing it is one thing. Like I love the way the design came out. At first, I was just like, wow, I don't know how this come out. It came out great. But once you get the product, I was just like, wow, this is actually pretty dope. Now I don't even want to like buy other gear. I just want to buy like my gear now.
No, that's the shit, man. Listen, I'm not one to buy a lot of gear. Once I have it, I have it. I rock it till it's falling apart, and then I go get something else. But I can't.
Hopefully the same thing if it's still in stock. Because those
Yeah.
Timberland Euro dubs, I swear to God, I love them shits. We used to get
the sleeve to fall off of this hoodie so I can go find the exact same one and order it.
Yeah.
No, dude. I will be rocking your gear as quick as I can. I love the design. I like the hoodies. I'm looking at the hoodies. I like the hoodie design, so I'm probably gonna end up copping one of those. And it's getting cold out anyway, so I think I'm gonna do that up. But yeah, absolutely, man. Congratulations on it. You are a designer.
Word up.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Congrats.
Awesome, brother. All right. Anybody have anything else to add before we put a bow on this thing?
I'm good, brothers.
All right. So for Mr. William Lendoogz, I am Paul. Appreciate you guys coming out again, giving us a listen. Catch us again on Spotify, iTunes. I'll have the links to the other podcast spots, and you can always catch the visuals and see these handsome mugs while we talk about a whole bunch of shit. And that'll be about it. So once again, guys, appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming through. Peace.
Peace. America.
Bye.